Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Essential Ingredients. I'm your host, Justine Reichman, and today I'm super excited to bring to you this talk on that introduces a new product, an innovative product, Bhoomi, made from sugarcane. And I have with me today Gina Bria from the Hydration Foundation, who's going to talk about the impact of integrating plants in your diet for hydration and how that can actually be more hydrating than drinking glasses of water. And to discuss this and talk about to demystify some of this for us, I've brought the founders of Bhoomi here, Shreyas and Arpit, as well as Nisha from New York Ayurveda, because her background is in Ayurveda. And Bhoomi is a company that is rooted in Ayurveda and has built a beverage company that is made of sugarcane and brings together different supplements and additions to this to be able to integrate Ayurveda philosophy and benefits into their drinks. But I don't know that much about it, which is why I have you guys here to help me understand this and demystify some of these new innovative things that we're doing with the products. So I'm super excited. And I just want to start the call off by thanking you all for joining me here and being part of this conversation. So Shreyas and Arpit, can you tell us a little bit about Bhoomi?
Yeah, so first of all, this is how I look. I'm at Whole Foods Market, Manhattan West, and there's a mandatory mask policy, so I have to wear it. The backstory of Bhoomi is basically I used to be a table tennis ping pong athlete, international athlete for Indian team before I came here, and my coaches and trainers recommended cane water. So after a hard day's play in summer or during it's very humid in India, so cane water was one of the most hydrating beverages that my coaches recommended me. Even doctors, like when I had joined this, cane water was recommended for healthy liver. So this is what I grew up on. I saw millions of people consuming and benefiting from cane water because of its root in Ayurveda and just the electrolytes it gives, the benefit it has. I was very aware of how it provided benefits as compared to artificially made beverages. In 2013, I came to New Orleans to study at Tulane to do my MBA, and Shreyas and I met there. Over a game of cricket and few table tennis games at Tulane, we discussed why it is so humid in New Orleans. The weather reminded us of Mumbai. It is very comparable weather, and we were like, okay, where is cane water? We don't have. There is a lot of coconut waters here. It was growing, but coconuts are not grown here. Sugar canes are grown in Louisiana. So that is how the baby steps and the idea of Bhoomi was born. And I'll let Shreyas add more to it.
Yes, definitely, Arpit. Thank you for giving a quick introduction. So, yeah, as Arpit said, we met at Tulane while we both were in grad school. We started, frankly, Bhoomi as a hobby, just going to local farmer markets over the weekend and, just waking up super early. After a few months of doing that, we realized that, people are actually looking for us. They, would call us, message us on Facebook and try to find where we were. So, that's when we decided to have a packaged product so that, we can reach more people. And, that's how we started selling different flavors and, and currently, as Arpit said, we launched into a Whole Foods market.
Okay. So as we have this conversation, our listeners will have an idea of where this information comes from. So Nisha, maybe you can make a quick intro on yourself and what you're doing.
Sure. I started Ayurveda, New York Ayurveda Center in 2006. Before that, I was already bringing some Ayurvedic products. I started with some herbal teas, which I started in 2000. But before that, I grew up in villages in India, in Himachal. That's like a northern Himalayan region there. So it was just natural, not even if you don't know the word Ayurveda there, you're like naturally living the lifestyle. People have sugarcane or very fine, even their own rice or vegetables or anything. We didn't make trips to the markets to do our shopping in the villages. Everybody was exchanging the things, and it was a very natural lifestyle. And herbal teas, or at the most, we will go to some ashrams for picnic. That was our weekend. And,
Wow.
we will climb some mountains and hills and pass small rivers. So
Wow.
that was very interesting childhood story for me, and I really miss it. So when I came to New York, I met some friends, and they were just like, you meet your own kind of people. So they were all into yoga and very holistic foods, and they will listen to me like what kind of weird childhood I had, how I grew up in India. They said, "Oh, you are the real example. You should do
Yes.
something."
Yeah.
I think that's where it started from. I was doing import export. That's what my background was before I started Ayurvedic business.
Wow.
And that's how it started.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Gina, talk to us about hydration, better hydration.
Well, I'm loving the panel. I'm loving who I'm with. I'm a cultural anthropologist, and Nisha, I just love that you're bringing these extraordinarily informed traditions forward. So with my work, I was looking at desert communities and how they survived drought, and how they also were hydrating without 8 glasses of water a day, which is the typical prescription. So the big breakthrough moment in my research was discovering the use of plants to hydrate, particularly cactus and aloe. But then the further studying molecular science of water and the molecule, discovering that that water in every kind of plant is more hydrating than it is in its liquid form. So the message of the Hydration Foundation is helping people use plants and plant materials, knowing that these plants are full of water that's been organized by nature to be more hydrating for us.
Thank you for sharing that, Gina. This conversation just at the core just wants me to ask Gina, because her expertise is in ritual, and she studied, and I'll let her talk about it, but ritual, and that's led her to figure out all these different ways for people to hydrate through plants. So maybe you could just touch on that, Gina, just because I think that that's a good entree into cane water.
Yes.
And, your perspective on hydration through cane water, and then we can sort of have the conversation go from there.
Well, Bhoomi team, I'm shouting out to you right off the bat, because of course, from my research, I can affirm that cane is, of course, a grass, right? Which is if you think if the American audience would think like wheatgrass, these materials they carry natural electrolytes, and a lot of the hydrating beverages on the market are about synthetic electrolytes. So people are now becoming alert to the idea that it's the combination of liquid and electrolytes that leap that hydration to another level, that make it almost 2/3 more effective. And we have the science studies behind that to show that minerals and electrolytes change the way the body hydrates, keeps it more hydrated. It isn't the volume of water. So your product, right off the bat, I'm like, oh, that's going to be a great product, because they're using natural principles that are coming from long indigenous traditions. And kudos to you for bringing it right into people's grocery shelves, Whole Foods, where they're walking by and they can, if educated, understand, picking your drink or picking these traditions, which are literally just uninterrupted flows of information from nature that we've disjointed from, we've unhooked from, unplugged from in our modern cultures. So
yes, definitely,
yeah.
Gina.
Yeah.
You use, exact words that we use while doing a demo in stores,
Oh, I love that.
Shreyas, I'm curious, can I ask you? So she talks about how hydrating it is, these plants in a liquid form. Now, I know that you always said it was the most hydrating thing when you guys played table tennis, I think. But did you understand why it was more hydrating?
Yes, definitely, Justine. So as Gina said, the crop of sugarcane or sugarcane stalks, they are 70 to 80% just water. Yeah, once you extract the juice out of the stalks, usually in the sugar making process, the table sugar, all these nutrients are stripped away, and you end up getting just crystallized sugar. So the idea is that if you do no process or do minimal processes, you are still retaining all the nutrients, electrolytes in it, and it is really hydrating. So basically, that is what the idea was. Arpit, do you want to add anything to this?
No. You covered it well. Yeah, we knew about, just it's a tradition in India. My dad or my coach, they spoke about why cane water. This will give you boost of energy and will not spike up your blood sugar because it is low glycemic. It has fiber and things like that. So yeah, it came as a tradition, and I think what Nisha said previously, that we did not know that, oh, this is Ayurveda or that is Ayurveda. It was just part of our life. And as we delved more deeper into what we are doing, we realized, okay, we have been doing all these things all our life, consuming turmeric, moringa, and things like that in our daily diet. So what I was saying is that in India, when we were growing up, it is just a part of life. Coaches and trainers, they taught us, like my dad taught me why cane water is beneficial, why coconut water is beneficial, because we consume it as in our daily lives. It's not a special beverage to us. It's just millions of people consume it every day.
Thank you for that.
So Justine, I would like to add to that. When I was going to college, I was in Chandigarh. So I was in a hostel, and before we will come to our hostel for lunch, there will be a guy standing, a cart guy, and he'll bring a lot of sugarcane stock there and make the juices. Uh, he will not be able to sell much. He was just standing there, and I started drinking it. Every time I'll come to the hostel in the afternoon, I'll take a glass or so, and I'll tell him to add some ginger or mint, which I see in your drinks also. You have added some herbs, and this is just so natural that you just tell him. He'll have some whole spices, leaves around him. So you can tell him what you want to add. And you drink it and you feel like, oh, you had the whole meal. You feel so hydrated. You feel so energetic, like even if you're hungry or headache or whatever. I was very prone to headaches if I didn't eat my meal. And I'll feel 100% fine after that. Seeing me, so many people started like flocking around him. Mm-hmm. And I saw like his sales went up. I used to tell him, you should start discounting my price now. I'm bringing so much business. It was like, it's very natural, especially in the northern India. This sugarcane beverage is very, very common, and it's like you squeeze it fresh.
It almost sounds like, from what you guys are saying, is that it's part of your lifestyle, and it's not that you're going out to seek something that is rooted in Ayurveda. It's just part of your culture, which is really important to me, because it really connects with what Gina was talking about in terms of studying ritual, and how we as a community here locally haven't really reached that level yet to be able to live in that way. Here in the US, we're a little bit behind maybe. We think, as Gina said, from the top of our head, as opposed to from the environment around us. And I really appreciate that way of looking at that. Of course, I'm going to go straight to the head, and I'm going to ask you, Nisha, a little bit if you can explain a little bit about Ayurveda and why this and how they've incorporated this in and the impact it can have.
Sure. I mean, I looked at their little picture, and they have 3 different drinks, I think they made. That's what I saw. And they all are like beautifully done. They have Moringa, like let me talk about Moringa. I grew up in Himachal. There was some Moringa kind of bush in every backyard. People were making their own chutneys every day, mix of spinach and Moringa or something else, or some garlic, turmeric, ginger, whatever. This was like a fresh. And now when I study Ayurveda, Moringa leaf, the fresh leaf, has the maximum benefits than the powder or the beans that they have. Apart from that, you have ginger there, you have turmeric. So let me finish with Moringa first.
Yeah, like, Nisha, can you go back and tell us some of the impact or the benefits of Moringa?
Right, so antioxidant. for any inflammation in the body. It's a very good sugar regulating herb in the body. So these are the main, then the energy levels. I think if you take Moringa, you don't even need anything else. You have vitamin B, B6, C, anti-inflammatory. Then it has all the energy that you get from it. It's a great herb. And especially for the people suffering from diabetes, cholesterol, anti-cancer, a lot of benefits from this, from Moringa herb.
Okay, I want to gotta buy that.
No, it has become, I have seen so many people coming in our center, they literally come to pick Moringa.
Really? Wow.
Yes. And recently I saw in Indian stores, they are selling fresh Moringa leaves.
Wow,
Not
so
very common.
maybe you can share with us, and you don't have to do it now, but if you have a little recipe with Moringa that we can share with the community, and maybe
Sure.
it includes Bhoomi water, who knows? But I think
Bhoomi Moringa chutney.
oh, I want to make it. I want to make it. So you mentioned after the Moringa, there were 2 more flavors that you, Shreyas and Arpit, that you guys have. There was ginger and turmeric, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so Nisha, can you talk a little bit about ginger and turmeric? I mean, I know that they're all anti-inflammatory, but
yes.
you know, if we can connect that again to Ayurveda and the impact it can have, I think it would really be impactful for our listeners, because some of this, we know just that. It's just that it's anti-inflammatory and we should drink it, but why? And tell us a little bit more.
Sure. When we talk about ginger, it's like the best spice, herb, food, whatever you want to call it, for your digestion. Anybody suffering from any kind of digestive problem, ginger is the first thing I recommend to my clients. I have made actually a ginger lemon recipe, ginger lemon pickle recipe, which I put on the social media also. I send literally the whole recipe to all my clients. There is not a single person who comes for a consultation to me and doesn't get this recipe. I said, if you want to take care of your health, whether it's a headache or it's a stomach ache or it's a back pain or whatever pain, you have to take this food, this pickle in your diet. I mean, it's not even a pickle. It takes like 2 minutes to make it. So ginger, anti-inflammatory, any blood regulating. It's very good to increase the pitta energy in the body. Pitta energy is like totally responsible for our digestive fire in the body. Anybody who is having more weight issues, ginger is the best herb for that also. If anybody is having nausea or any kind of taste problems also, ginger is the herb to go for. And when you talk about ginger, it's too sharp to eat by itself. You have to balance it with some cane sugar and with some lemon juice and salt and pepper as needed. So the whole recipe can be adjusted for everybody as needed, but you cannot take ginger just plain. It's too sharp to have. We always balance it with some raw brown sugar.
Before you go on to turmeric, can we just back up for just a second and give people an idea about, just so they understand, what does Ayurveda mean? Oh,
sure. Ayurveda, it's a combo word. Two words put in one word. Ayurveda. Ayur means life. Veda means science or wisdom. So the literal meaning of Ayurveda is science of life. And it originated more than 5,000 years ago. That's what you know for record, maybe more than that. And it's an ancient Indian healing system. It's like a complete science. There are like different branches for digestion, for gynecology, for surgery, I mean, which is not used right now because of the modern medical science is much more advanced in surgery. But talk about any branch of medical science, you have it in Ayurveda. And even our doctors who work with us, we have 3 doctors on our staff, and they all have different specialization. They're in MD in Ayurvedic medicines. And the science works so beautifully for everything, food, herbs, exercise, lifestyle changes. These are the main things we think people need to do. Not so many medicines are needed. Even if somebody is, let's say somebody came to us suffering from hypertension, we do not take anybody off the medicines. With the Ayurvedic doctor's advice, we incorporate the herbs and foods and lifestyle changes. People are sleeping at like late night, which is like another addition to a bad lifestyle and all the chronic problems we get. It literally brings inflammation in our body when we are sleeping late at night. And most of the chronic diseases are coming from inflammation in the body. When we go deeper in the problem, that's what we find out. So lifestyle changes are very, very important. And when people start following whatever changes our practitioners tell them, and we hear most of the times, oh, I went to my doctor last week and he says, whatever you're doing, continue it, you're doing great. That's what we hear many times.
I love that. That's great. And it's nice to see that people can balance a value system other than just what's here, right? So Western and Eastern, and how they can complement and be interdependent together.
Totally.
Because there's value in both. And so I really appreciate you all coming on to demystify this a little bit for everybody, because it sounds to me like part of the choices that we're making to live healthy are to look at some of these innovative products. And these products are being built based on different traditions and findings and science, which allow us to change our lifestyle, not in lieu of going to the doctor, but maybe in a preventative and proactive way to have a healthier life and to be more thoughtful about what we're putting in our diet and in our body. So I really appreciate learning about, I appreciate you guys building a product that is so thoughtfully created. And I really appreciate, Nisha, you sharing with us the philosophy behind Ayurveda. And so I don't want to lose where you were then going to talk about turmeric. So now that we understand what Ayurveda means, I would really just love to just finish that up so that we could better understand the products that Bhoomi has and just understand each one. So we talked about ginger and we talked about moringa. So the last one is turmeric?
Turmeric and I think amla. You're using amla also in your drink?
So we mix ginger with amla, and turmeric is blended with ashwagandha.
Oh, wow. Ashwagandha. Let's talk about ashwagandha first. I know for sure anybody goes to yoga studio or anybody has any connection with wellness, they can say ashwagandha for sure.
Ashwagandha.
They have learned it, how to say ashwagandha. A person, if you're listening it for the first time, I don't know, you might find it a complicated word, but anybody who follows wellness, they can say the word ashwagandha. Anybody, and you go to any health food stores, any salesperson, cashier register guy, they know this word, how to say it. I was like really astonished, like how these people can say this word. So ashwagandha is one of the major herbs in Ayurveda. And ashwagandha literally means the smell of horse. That's what it means.
Horse.
And horse.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that.
But whatever it means. But this herb is a rejuvenative herb. It's a herb to balance the energy. It's a herb to balance your sleep. It's a antioxidant. It's a tridoshic herb. It can be taken by all doshas. In Ayurveda, I missed one part. What are the bases of Ayurveda? I'll come back there. So there are 3 body types in Ayurveda: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So it's like adaptogen. It adapts your body, whatever is needed. You're looking for rejuvenation or energy or wherever it needs to be. It really balances the whole system. It's like instead of taking a multivitamin, if you're taking only ashwagandha, that works.
So ashwagandha and some plants, and we're good.
We are good. I mean, they're very smart in picking the herbs they have added in the drink. Ashwagandha, moringa, turmeric, amla, you're all set.
Guys, was there a lot of research done to pick those specific herbs? What inspired that?
Yes, Justine. So we started the company 5 years back, and it took us, I would say, at least a year and a half to 2 years to optimize the recipes. We seeked a lot of feedbacks. Just studied what trends are currently going on in the food and beverage industry. So based on all those feedbacks, we were able to modify these recipes. Apart from that, just studying what flavors are used globally that go well with sugarcane or cane water is what helped us to come up with the recipes that we have. And also being part of panels like these is when you learn a lot as well.
I'm curious. So you pick these supplements or these additions that you added to the water. I'm curious, and as you were doing your research and testing them out and getting people to taste them, what was the feedback that you got?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I would also like for Arpit to add to this as well. But the number one thing is people have not heard about drinking cane water. People don't know how it is made, how the juice is extracted. Usually people's reaction is it is just a spoonful of sugar dissolved in water. That's the common reaction. And doing a lot of demos, going in front of people definitely helps. But apart from that, when we tell people all the benefits of cane water, people are always surprised. Coconut water, which is, I would say, a foreign concept similar to sugarcane water, it is a really big industry now. It is, an industry by itself. But people did not know that coconuts are not grown in this country. But after hearing, all the benefits of cane water and it has the benefit it has to provide, people are really surprised and they want to learn more.
So Shreya, as Arpit, I'm curious, I know that people are excited about it. I know that people like the taste. My question to you is, have you had any feedback about the impact it's had? Has anybody come to you and said, oh my God, I drank this and I felt amazing after, or whatever the story is, but I'm just curious if you can give some sort of feedback, share some feedback or stories from some of your customers.
Yeah, one of the biggest feedback that we got, there's a person in Austin and she was pregnant and she was using our Moringa and she, literally stocked our products because it was helpful to her during her pregnancy. She felt really well, balanced. The best part about our beverages is that you don't get a spike of blood sugar. It is a low glycemic beverage. So when you consume it, you really feel well. You are not bloated, neither you are going like, how you drink a soda and or simple sugars. You feel like really energetic for time being and then you get a crash. But with our beverages, you get that sustainable energy over a longer period of time. And that is very consistent feedback that we keep on getting from our customers that, hey, I'm using this and I really feel good. For turmeric, it helps. It is an adaptogen, as Nisha was talking about. It helps people to de-stress, and during colder months, people would heat it and drink it.
Right.
So it is beneficial in that way as well. For amla, it's a great antioxidant. So amla has the highest levels of antioxidants on any herb on the planet.
In the literature, people have done a lot of research that turmeric, which is rich in antioxidants, if it is present if it is consumed along with presence of black pepper, the absorptions of antioxidants is, multifolds. So, a lot of people, they, drink turmeric, a flavor that we have to offer, and, they come back to us saying, hey, it was a sustained energy. I feel, refreshed. And, so, these are some of the feedbacks that we get along with, what Arpit mentioned. Cane water is known to be low glycemic. That means that once you consume cane water, it is a sustained source of energy. You can compare that, a very crude example would be brown rice versus white rice. With white rice, you will, feel really good for, few minutes, and then you will get a sugar crash. But cane water is a sustained energy source. So I think what Arpit was mentioning, that one of their friends who was expecting, she stocked up on our ginger flavor, and it just provided the sustained source of energy that she was looking for.
Wonderful. That's great to hear. I love to hear those stories. I'd love to bring Gina into this conversation and just connect the dots from, plants to hydration, and everything we're talking about is rooted in plants, from cane to ginger, from ritual to Ayurveda. It's all connected. Gina, I'd love to hear your perspective on this.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, to be listening to what I'm listening to, because what I'm hearing is the bringing in traditions around the world that are sustained, let's call them long-term clinical studies, because they've been going on for thousands of years, right? What we're coming up against, Justine, and what you're trying to accomplish is to get people over that line where they feel like that's something different and something, you know, they don't know about, or something alien. What I'd like to do is
for people to not think it's a fad. Right?
Exactly, it's not a fad. This is
the question. Yeah. Is it a fad?
Yeah. The problem we're living with that we don't realize, because we're swimming in the problem, is that we live an abnormal life as moderns, which is divorced from nature, which drives us biologically. We are biologically driven. We're better biologically driven by how much nature we're exposed to, how much of our environment we're exposed to, because we're meant to live in a natural environment. Now, I'm speaking as a cultural anthropologist, doing an ethnography on us, recognizing that the indoor life, the driving of cars, the high computer use, the prescription medications, the process, drywall. We live in drywall environments, cubicle environments. It doesn't matter where you turn. What we recognize overall is all of these are separations from living in a natural environment. Now, we're not going to give that up. So what we have to do is figure out how to get nature into our lives, because what nature is carrying is information that drives our biological system. So when you go to Whole Foods and you pick Bhoomi off the shelf, what you've just done is brought nature and its informational power into your system and into your day. So you're literally opening the door and letting nature in by opening that bottle and knocking it back. Now, why hydration is connected to that is that the water molecule is the conductor of that information. It literally conducts the information in turmeric, in moringa, in the ginger, into your system in a cohesive way. The water molecule is made to pass on the electrical digital information that's in the turmeric. So when you couple now hydration with nutrition or plant information, let's stop calling it nutrition, and just for the sake of this confirmation, call it plant wisdom, plant adaption. The more you get that into your life, the more you're able to function well in the artificial environment that we live in. And the wisdom of plants, I can't say it enough. They are our allies. They have information that we're missing in our life. So the more plants you include in your life, the more biological information is going to turn on in your system. And hydration, the water molecules actually conduct, or let's put it in a slightly different way so the science people can get it. The water molecule is what dissembles the nutritional molecules to be able for you to absorb them. It's the conductor, it's the orchestrator. And so why we need hydration so much is the water molecule is the one that takes all that information and turns it into availability in our body. But we're missing plant information. So any product, any food, any lifestyle that brings that plant wisdom into our life is going to be invaluable.
Gina, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that it really gives us a new way of looking at things and thinking about what we're doing. And I think whether you're an entrepreneur and consumer, it's really palatable and can really be part of a new way of thinking and changing the future of food. I'd love to hear from Shreyas and Arpit what you hope to achieve with Bhoomi going forward as part of the food system.
Yes, definitely. So at Bhoomi, we all believe in having a full transparency, 100% transparency. All the packaging, all the labels, all the ingredients that we have chosen, we want to be upfront about them. We want even including our nutritional label that you see, it is the entire nutrient that is available in the bottle. It is the there is no, half a serving, one serving. So we believe in full transparency. We want customers to understand what the product that we are offering, and we want, customers to go find us in different grocery stores. Apart from that, we also believe in sustainability. I don't think we have talked about sustainable practices, but we compost all the organic material that is produced during our production runs, and we have actually recently launched a bottle that is made from 100% plants. So the bottle actually is made from sugar canes, and by doing so we can reduce energy use by 60%. We can reduce carbon emission by over 80%, and water use by over 20%. So these are, I would say, the two big things that we want to continue achieving or continue doing as we go along in our journey.
Wonderful. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to be part of this conversation at an early stage, and to see where you're going to be next year at this time and 3 years from now. Are you guys planning to expand your line or come up with other products?
Yes, I mean, we are always looking to innovate new flavors. We are always, we want to hear customers' feedbacks. So, if at all you guys have any suggestions or, anything different that we can do, we are, more than happy to listen to that.
So, Gina, had you heard of cane water before in this form?
Well, I knew it was a common drink in India, and so I'm always looking at indigenous traditions. What do they hydrate with? What are they looking for? So I'd like to say that I love what you're doing. I appreciate the sustainability. If somebody buys Bhoomi instead of a plastic bottle of water, they're going to get so much more, and they're going to be giving more back to the planet, right? This is really powerful. We will love to support you and be behind you, because you're practicing all the different ways we're trying to have impact in the world. And I think that I want to say something about coconut and coconut water compared to Bhoomi, for example, because coconuts are a problem. They are beautiful impact product for hydration, but right now in the sustainability conversation, what's going on with creating coconut plantations, waiting for that coconut to grow, it's taking a lot of resources out of the earth, and it's interrupting natural environments. Whereas sugarcane grows in marshlands, in large fields. It's a natural plant that has a sustainable and filtering effect on our planet. We really need smarter solutions right now, not just like these 3 products hydrate. It's like, well, what else are they doing? So grasses and canes are a very important part of our ecosystem that's disappearing right now in terms of water filtration on the planet. So from the larger picture, you want to make that choice, like I want a hydrating drink, coconut versus cane water. This is a really important product to help us get forward on our quest to support Mother Earth, which is what we're all on.
And just to add to that, my question, Shreyas, you mentioned, where are you getting the cane from again?
Yes, thank you so much, Justine, for bringing that topic up. So we exclusively work with minority sugarcane farmers in Louisiana. When we,
Wait, this is local, is what we're talking about, too.
It is. It is.
Which is not local.
Yes, definitely. So frankly, when we first started the company, the only aim was to sell as much product as we can. But being in we both started the company in New Orleans, and in Louisiana there is a lot of sugarcane grown. When we started to do some research, we started to find out more and more about discriminatory practices that were happening or that have been happening to minority sugarcane farmers, how they are losing their lands. A few years back, there used to be more than 20 African American families who used to own lands. And right now, there are only 3 families who own lands. So we realized that, small steps like partnering with minority farmers and getting sugar canes directly from them is going to, help shed light on some of these issues. So that's why we, make sure that we consciously work with minority sugarcane farmers.
Yeah, so coming what Shreyas said and answering the last question, what is the hope? So alongside health and wellness and what Nisha and Gina have been talking about, plant power and plant wisdom and how we need to communicate. There are two more hopes that we have as a as a brand and as a mission. The first one is supporting minority sugar black farmers in the United States. And as piggybacking on what Shreyas was saying is that the farmers that we work with, they are losing their land to the traditional sugarcane growers in Louisiana, in the United States. There used to be a lot many African American sugarcane farmers in Louisiana. Today, there are 3 or 4 families growing sugarcanes, and they continue to fight till today. For example, one of our farmers, their name is Provo, their last name is Provost. They used to have 5,000 acres of sugarcane land in Louisiana. Today, they own less than 100 acres just because of discriminatory practice, predatory loans in the that happens in within the community. So we want to shed that light because land is everything. It's a stolen. If you lose the land, and if the black farmers are educating, they are the ones who brought sugarcane for so many years, and sugarcane has a very difficult history in the United States. So we want to be on the right side of it. We don't want to perpetuate what is happening in the United States in sugarcane world for so long. So we want to be a part of the change and amplify the voices that black farmers are asking for. They have been fighting for it. The third part is sustainability. So sugarcane is an excellent crop. It, as Gina was mentioning, it captures a lot of carbon from the environment and it regulates. So as on that aspect, this bottle we launched, this is 100% made out of sugarcane. So this is, as compared to PET plastic, this reduces 90% greenhouse gases. And this is from Climate Collaborative, and they selected our project last year, and they did the research on whether we should make this change. And they gave us the numbers and the report. So we ended up doing it. Even though it cost us more, we are still doing it because it comes from a mission and values perspective. What we believe, what we hope is that CPG is a term of consumer product goods. We want it to be SPG, sustainable product goods in the United States. It needs to be more sustainable.
Super excited that we were able to have this conversation and bring everyone together. So Gina and Nisha and Bhoomi, we've had a lot of talk about cane water. It's rooted in ritual. It's rooted in thousands of years of experiential clinical trials, right? Because we get to hear what's happening from that. But what do we see for the future? I'd love to hear how you feel this is going to impact the future of food. Shreyas, maybe you could start.
Yes, definitely, Justine. So for the future of food, I think I'm going to go back to the transparency aspect that I had mentioned previously. As Gina was mentioning, we are going away from what the nature has to offer. And I think having full transparency moving forward, not just in our brand, but customer being aware and choosing or selecting the brands that offer such transparency is something that we would love to see happen. Apart from that, use and throw plastic, which is single-use plastic, is one of the largest contributor to plastic pollution in the landfill. So companies focusing more on the sustainability aspect is also something that we would love to see in the future of consumer packaged goods. Yeah.
And what do you see as Bhoomi's role in this?
So Bhoomi's role, just educating people, not just about our product. I mean, that's definitely going to be priority, but at the same time, just, raising voices about, minority farmers, raising, issues about sustainability, nutrition, these are the directions that we want to move forward in.
Wonderful. Thank you. How about you, Nisha?
Hi, Justine. So I wanted to add actually 2 things to the drink. The Bhoomi drink,
okay.
The sugarcane drink that they have. It's a very good source of many people have cravings problem and they're overeating. So it helps a lot with dealing with the craving problem. So even if you're not drinking the drink at finishing the whole bottle at a time, sipping it, like you finish 1 bottle in a whole day, that helps with the craving. Many people who are gaining weight, it's like mostly it's the emotional eating problem. So sugarcane drink certainly helps with the craving problem. Secondly, the turmeric and ginger, they are very good product. They were talking about one of their customer who was pregnant. It helps a big deal with the nausea that the pregnant women have. It ginger by itself, or adding ginger to any food or drink, that helps in a very big way. Coming back to what we want to do, being in Ayurveda business, I would like to educate people. Please use your food as medicine.
I love that. Thank you so much for that.
Food as medicine. It should be the good food, the quality food should be accessible to everybody. It should be affordable for everybody. And prevention is better than cure.
Mm.
Gina?
I want to echo that, Nisha. That's great. Food is also wisdom.
Totally.
And that's the future I really want for all of us, is the goal to really embrace ourselves as natural beings, as biological beings that need and can be loved by nature. We don't realize how much we're missing the love that nature has to give us. So healing is about giving love, but healing is also about receiving love. So the love that comes from a product like Bhoomi, that they put into this, the thoughtfulness, the love that plant information has for us, the love of caring for ourselves through natural products, and then the love, the giving of that love back to Mother Nature. So the ways that we don't pollute her with plastics, the ways that we support farm and farm life. This is our future. This is our way out of COVID too, is supporting farmers and eating their beautiful foods, or becoming a person with lots of plants in your life, whether you grow it yourself or you ingest it, in the ways that you ingest it and make it actually molecularly part of you. That's the future.
Thank you guys all for participating in this conversation and sharing the information. I was so excited for Bhoomi and what you guys are building. I was excited to be able to put together a panel that might be able to provide a little, some information to help demystify what it is you've built and answer those questions for people, and further validate for them when they're uncertain where this is rooted. It's rooted in ritual, it's rooted in thousands of years of clinical studies. It's rooted in plants being more hydrating than food. And I'm just echoing the highlights of this conversation. So for everyone that joined us today, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you guys all, and I want to thank our listeners. Gina, there's so much going on at the Hydration Foundation. There's so much opportunity for education and information. And I think part and parcel to what we're building here is a resource for our food and beverage entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to offer to our members?
Yes. So we just finished the first Hydration Summit. It's on our website. There's 30 colleagues, doctors and scientists, identifying new ways to hydrate, and they each give their own tips. So Zach Bush is on there, Dr. Zach Bush, Dr. Dana Cohen, Roland McCready from the Heart Math Institute, Dr. Christian Northrup, David Asprey talks about coffee, and we have so many of our colleagues who are now bringing hydration to the fore. And you can just go to my hydrationfoundation.org. It's the first thing that pops up. Register for that. It's all free. It's astounding information. And when you have that resource, we're leaving it up for as long as we can through this pandemic, so people have hydration information. So we're glad to have everybody join us and become part of this new solution that's going forward, Hydration Solution Summit.
Great. Gina, we will make sure that is in the show notes. Nisha,
thank you.
Is there anything that you want to offer our listeners, whether they're local or global? We'd love to be able to connect you guys and for them to continue the conversation if appropriate.
Sure, that will be great. Right now, especially during the COVID, we were offering a lot of mini free consultation to the people. because they were looking for some natural ways to deal with it, and they didn't know where to go. And consultation can be, especially in this economy, could be a big expense. So we're offering many consultations to people, especially myself, to our clients. So anybody is welcome.
How would they get in touch with you to learn more about that?
So please go to our website, nyayurveda.com, and our phone number to reach is 212-616-4127. You'll get all the contact information from there and reach us through email or via phone.
Wonderful. I do see that Arpit put a code up here. It's 10% off. What we will do is we will include the details for this discount code in our show notes. So just take a look at those notes and you'll be able to access the 10% off code. I personally can't wait to go get my Bhoomi water. But again, I just want to thank you for joining me with Essential Ingredients this morning for this really interesting conversation. I found it super helpful to really understand what all these new innovative products are rooted in. And when I see ginger and I see turmeric, it gives me a better sense of how these products have been created and what it's focused on, what it's rooted in. Because up until now, all I knew was it was anti-inflammatory, but I didn't know that it was rooted in years and thousands of years of clinical trials from just the community. And I didn't know that, I didn't even think about it as that it was a plant, and through Gina understanding how that is actually that much more hydrating. So I walk away smarter, more informed, and excited to try your new product and see where you guys go in coming years. So thank you for joining us at Essential Ingredients. I want to thank our listeners. And if you liked this podcast and you want to hear more, make sure you subscribe to Next Gen Chef. It is the podcast channel. It will be on iHeartRadio. You'll find us on iTunes and all the top podcast stations. So I look forward to connecting again and seeing where you guys are in a few months. And that's all, folks.